Welcome back, mother flippers. Some DF rants. I'm extremely tired right now. Well, I'm not really tired. I'm just hot. I'm sweaty. I just got home. This video. I mean, you're as usual. You're gonna see some Overwatch footage because that's all. That's most of the footage I have saved on my PS4 anyway. But this is gonna be a DF rants video, but it's more. It's not really gonna be out of anger. It's gonna be more, just I guess, just some advice to have for younger people. I mean, out of the two people that might see this video, if one of you is like about to graduate high school or they're in college, they're struggling for money, they don't have a job, this is just something to look out for, just to make sure that you don't get caught up in this. And you'll probably see it by the title, and I'll explain in a little bit as soon as I can gather myself. So yeah, you'll hear my voice again in just a second. All right. All right, I'm back. I'm sitting back in my chair. Let me put my device here. All right. So I haven't made a video in a while, but this might be the next one. I'm still recording my other series, but you know all of that is beside the point right now. So you're gonna see from the title of the video, marketing firms. Now, say let's suppose that say you're looking for a job, you decide to sign up for Career Builder. Oh, excuse me, Career Builder. You hop on this app called ZipRecruiter. Maybe you go to Indeed. But actually, Indeed didn't really give me any marketing firm jobs. But yeah, Career Builder. Those job sites where you can just upload your resume and send it out to a bunch of different places at once, just at random. Because what Career Builder does for anyone who doesn't know how Career Builder works is that you make an account, you upload your resume, and it gives you like a list of different companies that it can send your resume to. And it can work out. Sometimes it can work out. It's at least it works. Yeah, it works. You're gonna get some interviews, which that's pretty good. And hey, like out of maybe the 4 interviews that you have in a course of 2 weeks, one of those places might hire you, maybe not, and then you get more interviews. But in my case, it did work, however, not as well as I was hoping. Now, I don't want to mention the company that I just stopped working for specifically. I don't want to throw them under the bus or anything. They are a legitimate company. It's just the job that I ended up doing was just not to my liking. I mean, if I'm gonna work somewhere, regardless of where, like retail or some office, if I'm gonna work somewhere, I want to enjoy what I do. Because if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, I'm not gonna want to work as much or work as hard, and then I'll just perform. I won't perform as well. I mean that's just a fact. I mean that's everybody. You don't. I mean, then again, there are people who they hate their jobs and they do it anyway because they need the money. I understand that, but what this job was, I just could not take it anymore. So let me just tell you the whole story, I guess. So uploaded my resume to Career Builder, sent it out to a bunch of places. At one point, I had 4 interviews within a week. One of those interviews was to this place that I ended up working for. They had me in for a second interview where I was to be interviewed by what was known as a promoting leader. So so this person who interviewed me, she became my leader, apparently. Or yeah, I guess that's how it works. 'Cause the way this company worked was that you had your entry levels, and then you had promoting leaders, and then it just went up from there, managers, owners. So this girl, I believe she had only been working for like 2 months, maybe just a few months, and she was able to get herself promoted in that time. The whole gimmick of the job was that you go into entry level, you can get promoted, and you just like the amount of money you can make was only going to increase from there. And all of that sounded really great. Like they were telling me what this was going to be Like, hey, okay, you be an entry level, we make this much a week. Be a promoting leader, you make this much a week. You get promoted more, get promoted again. You make this much. That sounded really nice. There's also the added bonus that you get to travel. Once you get promoted, you get to travel to places. So I think at some point they were supposed to travel to the Dominican Republic for basically for vacation. I don't even know how long it was. I think it was like a week or a few days or some shit. And all of that sounded really great. All of it sounded really nice. You know, I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, this is a decent paying job. I can make more here than I made at working at the mall. That's pretty nice. But I didn't actually realize I didn't realize what I was really getting into until the day that I filled out the paperwork. So this is where things get a little shady. So yeah, again, I didn't realize what I was really getting into until they had me come in to fill out paperwork. You know, the whole a new hire, you bring your information in, your ID, you know, social security, passport, or whatever, all that shit. Um, so I'm going through the paperwork now. I was told before that the pay will have been by commission. I should have asked more questions personally, but to me, it's just like, hey, this is a good job. I should do this. I should totally do this. So I knew that this was a marketing firm. Now I'm sitting there thinking, well, I mean, marketing. This isn't even my field of study, but fuck it. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what this, because that's all. The only companies that were calling me from Career Builder were marketing firms. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just fake it till I make it. What's up? So then I'm sitting there filling out the paperwork, signing my name on all this shit, and then I see the pitch. The pitch to, yeah, the pitch to the basis of the entire job of what I was going to be doing. Now, during the second round interview, I picked the phrase "door to door" was dropped only once. Personally, I was hoping that I was able to sit down maybe in an office and do shit from there. Excuse me. But I mean, you know, I figured that'd be too good to be true, potentially. But you know, a guy can hope. Sales by commission, and I'm looking at this pitch. The pitch that basically written out is what I'm supposed to say to you or to anyone once I knock on their door. So the pay by commission would be determined, or would have been determined, well, yeah, it was determined by how many people I could get to sign up after I knock on their fucking door. So, this marketing firm, much like pretty much every other marketing firm that called me for interviews, got me to sign up to be a door-to-door sales representative, door-to-door salesman. Got to walk around some fucking neighborhood for like 6 hours in a bright green polo with a logo on it, had a name tag, carrying around a binder filled with work order forms, knocking on people's doors to try to help people save money on their electric bill. Now, I can do all that. Like, all of that, that's fine. So, you know, like, that's fine. Like, I didn't really mind that too much. The job itself, though, fucking sucked. Like, I honestly should have left, like, much sooner. I was only there for about 2.5 weeks. I should have left sooner, because what we did essentially was stupid. It was the stupidest thing. The whole gimmick of the job is like, okay, do you think you're worth this much money per hour? Like, so would you rather be making $10 an hour for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, hey, maybe 8 hours if you're lucky? Or would you rather make your weekly salary in like 1 or 2 days? Now, it's very possible to do that, but that's if you can get the people to sign up. It's not like it's not guaranteed. If you don't get any people to sign up, then you don't make any money that day. Now imagine not signing anybody up for an entire week. You didn't make any money that week. $0 in your bank account. And it was doable. I was there, like I said, I was there for 2.5 weeks. I'm looking at the. Let me actually bring you over here to where my backpack is, so I can pull out the form. Not the form. Oh shit. Sorry. My device just fell over. Put that there. This is a long video. I'm noticing that right now, but it'll be worth it. I'll take my time here. All right. Nope, that's not it. The fuck is it? All right. I should have already had it before I started recording. All right, here it is. I'm looking at the form. It's basically a training packet, initial training packet. I'm looking at the pitch. It says memorize me at the top because the person who put me through the process made sure that I memorized it. I still know it pretty much. Alright, so somewhere in this, I can't actually find it, but somewhere in this form, it says, no, that's not it. Alright, somewhere in this form, it gives me the schedule, the training schedule. Not really a training schedule, just more like, just what the daily schedule is in general. So basically, I'd be at the office at 11:15, and then somewhere like around 1 o'clock, 1:30, almost 2 o'clock, we'd head out into the field. And then for about 6.5 hours, we're out in the field. Maybe we take a break, and then we make our way back to the office, do our nightly routines, and then we go home. So I'm at the office. Basically, I'm out of the house. I was out of the house between like 10:30 to like I would get home at like fucking 9:30. I was out for almost like 11 hours a day. We're supposed to stop at like 11:15. No, not 11. We started at 11:15. We're supposed to stop at like 8:15 or be back at the office by 8:15. I wouldn't get home until like 9:30. And I'd be hungry. I'm over here eating dinner at like almost 10 p.m. That's partially because I'm so used to eating dinner so early. I was raised eating dinner at like 3:30, 4:30. Personally, I prefer to eat it at like 6 or 7. But I'm here eating dinner at like 9:30, 10 p.m. and shit. I can't do that. It fucks up my stomach. Yeah, so it says the entry level training position should last about 1 to 4 weeks. And there's a line that's under it that says, "We don't expect you to be master at this after 1 week." So it was my first full week. The week after I finished training, like I'm out on my own. I'm doing this by myself. And my leader person, the girl who interviewed me for the second round interview, she was already pushing for me to get promoted. I'm like, I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm sitting there like, I just fucking started. Can I get more comfortable doing this first? Now getting promoted seemed difficult. It was doable, but yeah, sure, it seemed hard. but it's possible. I mean, people have done it, and I probably could have done it. Getting promoted required me to get 12 people to sign up within 1 week, starting from Monday all the way to Saturday. That would have been 2 people per day, possibly even more. I mean, more would have been better. But last week, no, not last week. Was it like, yeah, last week. Yeah, last week. I had, it was Thursday. It was last Thursday. I had 3 sales on the whole week, and I would have needed to get 9 more to get promoted. It's Thursday. I have 3 sales throughout the whole week, and she wants me, okay, she wants me to write down some goals. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can get promoted by next month or by the end of the month. And she's like, by next month? I need you to get promoted by this week. And I'm like, well, all right. But in my head, I'm like, I just fucking started. like I just said before, can I get more comfortable doing this shit first? You stupid whore. She wasn't a whore. She was actually really sweet. But I was just speaking out of anger there. That's the DF Rants part of me. But yeah, it's like you see, I'm seeing here on the forum. You don't expect me to be master after 1 week, but you already want me to get promoted in my first fucking week. But the main thing that set off red flags for me was I'm still looking. I purposely kept this training packet. So this is even a training packet. This is just an entry level packet that you're supposed to look through. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here it is. Patience. Our training is a 3-week long process. We do not expect anyone to be a master after 1 week. We know it can be frustrating, but that is the point of the training. We teach everyone how to handle rejection and deal with the stressors of this position. 3-week long process, and by the end of the first week, she already wanted me to go beyond that. But the main thing that set off major red flags that told me that I should have left right away was because like I'm looking at this page says expectations, commitment, permission to critique, patience, and then this one right here, I circled it, blind faith. Some things may sound very basic or will seem very trivial, but we ask that you have blind faith that we have your best interests at heart and we do everything for a reason. Blind faith. Are you shitting me? Get the fuck out of here with your blind faith. Blind faith is what Christians have for their God. Blind faith is what Buddhists have for their God. Blind faith is what any religious person has for their God. Blind faith is what people who voted for Trump have in Trump. And look where that got them. Blind faith. The job overall sucked. What we did at the office was stupid. Now, I don't really know what I expected, but I guess, like, if I'm going to do door-to-door, I figure, alright, let me just go to the office, check in, or whatever, maybe have a seat, go over some things I need to go over, practice the pitch a little bit more. Let's see if I can get some tips from somebody, maybe go to a few meetings. Which, I mean, some of those meetings happen, it's not like none of that stuff happened. But the way in which it happened was kind of what bummed me out the most. So, sure, we had some meetings, we had some of the promoted leaders, the guys who had more experience, they would give us their little classes on how we can get better at doing the job, get more sales. And that's cool, the problem is that it was pretty much the same thing over and over again. Every day it was like the same thing, which I guess that's why my leader person wanted me to get promoted so quickly, so we can stop going to those dumbass classes. It's my controller. But yeah, so, but I mean, I didn't really mind that as much. What I did mind though was that fucking everything else we did at the office. There was a room that they called an atmosphere. The other gimmick of the job, I said the whole gimmick. The whole gimmick was, okay, you can make this much in like 2 or 3 days. But the other major gimmick was maintaining a positive attitude. Basically, you had to like be like a slightly watered down version, or a slightly, you had to maintain just the highest level of energy throughout the entire day. Basically, you had to be carbon copies of Mojo Rowley pretty much all the time. Have and maintain a great no, have and maintain a positive attitude. Now, I'm not a generally positive person. I'm a generally quiet individual. I'm soft spoken. I'm not loud. Everybody in the office is so fucking loud and over the top. I mean, I'm cool with everybody in there, but during our daily routine, they're just loud and over the top. There's music playing in the background, to give off good vibes, and I'm sitting there trying to practice my pitch, and they want me to speak up, and I'm like, I mean, if you could hear me, you could probably hear me if that fucking music wasn't playing right now, or if there weren't 20 other people in the room talking over me. I mean, I never really saw the point in being loud. I mean, I'm not really. If I'm gonna knock on someone's door, I'm gonna speak at a reasonable level, a reasonable volume, kind of like how I'm speaking right now. It's not like I'm gonna knock on the door and be like, "Hey, how you doing today?" It's not the point. I see the spike on my fucking recording device. That's pretty loud. That's probably the loudest I've ever spoken into this damn thing. But yeah. Then there was also stupid morning meeting, which that wasn't necessary. There was something called crew circles, where again, you have to stay hype, you have to stay positive, maintain great attitude. So we kind of got into we get something called crew circle. We basically huddled up as if we were playing football or baseball or sport or some shit. Like discuss our goals, put our fists together. 1, 2, 3, insert exclamation here. And then now this is the part. This is the part that pissed me off the most. Every day, I legitimately felt like I was at a summer camp, where every day we played some stupid team building game or activity. So you had, practice pitch, crew circles, morning meeting, and then it was like, and everything was like, hey guys, hey what? Who's ready for crew circles? Or who's ready for morning meeting? Yeah, morning meeting. Hey guys, hey what? Who's ready for a fun game? Yeah, fun game. The games weren't fun. They were stupid. We had these elaborated versions of charades where you had a line, I think it was called charades down the line, where there was a whiteboard at one end of the room. We had to line up with our backs facing our backs with facing away from the backboard facing away from the whiteboard, lining up single file teams. Each team was lined up single file, facing away from the whiteboard. So the people, I guess the people who weren't necessarily participating, they were just writing some shit on the wall. They would write some shit on the whiteboard, and we had to act it out. We had to do charades. Yes, you had to act it out to the person in front of us. You tap them on the shoulder, get them to turn around, do the thing. So, like, I guess if the topic was washing your hands, then you would make the motion with your hands as if you're washing your hands to the person in front of you. They turn around, they tap the next person, and they do the same thing. Then when it gets to the person in the front of the line, they would get it. Then they would have to run up to another person standing in the front of the room to guess the answer. Then there was something called pyramids, where you had one person sitting in a chair facing away from the whiteboard, and the rest of the team will see what's written on the whiteboard in a pyramid, because it was like a pyramid that was divided into different squares with the category on the top. Like, say if the category was cocktails, and then each word in the pyramid was a different cocktail, like martini, sex on the beach, gin, Jack and Coke, if that's even a cocktail. I don't really know alcohol. So you have to describe what it is to the person sitting in the chair to see if they guess it. And then when they guess it, they have to move on to the next one. Once they guess everything in the pyramid, they have to guess what the category is, and they have to say it right. What else did we play? Oh yeah, we played something super stupid. I don't like dancing personally. I feel like an idiot every time I dance. I'm not saying that dancing is a dumb thing to do for anybody. I know people who love to dance, and that's great. But dancing is just something natural. But personally, I feel like an idiot when I'm dancing. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just insecure. Who the fuck knows? But there's one game called, what is it called? Indian Chief or something. I just know that one person is the chief, then another person is the seer or something. So the person who's the chief decides what the dance is. Everybody stands around in a big circle. They decide what the dance is, and then the person seeing has to keep an eye on the chief. Everybody else has to keep an eye on the person who is the seer. So once the chief changes the dance, the seer is going to see that, and he's going to change the dance. And then everybody else who sees the seer, they're going to change the dance accordingly. And of course, one person will have to enter the room and have to try to guess who the chief is. Felt like a summer camp every day, team building exercise. Yeah. What we did was stupid. There was one day where I probably could have got fired. I probably should have purposely got fired because I couldn't remember how to. I never knew how to explain the work order form to a customer. There's the pitch. Basically, I was one of those people who, if you're wondering what kind of salesperson I was, I'll tell you this much. Basically, I was someone who basically came up to your door, knocked on your door, and just asked to see your electric bill, so that I could check your supply rate. The whole point of it was to try to save people money on their electric bill. The catch of it was the 50 cents a day advantage fee. This is kind of what tripped a lot of people up. The point of that is it was basically like if you ever shopped at Sam's Club, Costco's, or some wholesale food place, and they have a monthly membership. That's basically what it was. Threw a lot of people off. Yeah, threw a lot of people off. Tripped up a lot of people. But that's how the company made their money, or our client. That's how the client company made their money, through the 50 cents a day advantage fee. That was the catch. Nothing's free. Nothing ever is. Excuse me. Had to move my table a little bit closer to me. This is basically the podcast right here. It's like almost 30 minutes. Might end up using pretty much all the Overwatch clips that I just copied to my flash drive. I'm gonna have to add some more. I'm pretty sure just add all of it. Why not? But yeah. So the job sucked. Walked around for 6 hours a day, maybe getting one person, two people to sign up. It's something that you have to have a knack for, and I didn't necessarily have a knack for this. Honestly, they were. So I told someone one night, and she was all like, I mean, well, do you really want to go back to working $10 an hour? I'm like, first of all, I wasn't even making $10 an hour at the job that I worked at before. $10 an hour actually sounds pretty decent. That's saying something. But yeah, I honestly would much rather just work retail. As much as some people hate working retail, I would much rather be working retail than knocking on people's doors on a hot ass day, drenched in sweat. Especially when there's the risk of having the cops called on me twice in the same day. Because that happened. I mean, I didn't really mind it. It was a factor in pursuing me to quit eventually. But this past Monday, it was July the 3rd. It's July 7th right now as I'm recording this. But this past Monday on July the 3rd, I had the cops called on me twice. I didn't get any sales that day. I had the cops called on me twice. The one officer, it was in two different neighborhoods, two different townships. The first one, it's like I saw the police car go by, and I guess he saw me. He turned, he pulled around, came to me, and I wanted to say, "Hi, are you looking for me?" Not in a mocking manner. I'm generally curious. I mean, if he was there looking for me, then I have to leave. So he beckons me over and says, "Hey, do you?" He asked me if I have a license, which is another weird, shady thing about this. I guess just about any company that does door-to-door sales is I kept hearing about something called a license to solicit in a neighborhood or a township. If there is such a license, why am I not aware, and why don't we have one? Plus, if some of the places we go to are private property, why even go there? Why risk it? Why risk this? Why risk this happening? Just for what? Just for two people? There's thousands of people everywhere else that aren't in areas that aren't necessarily private. First time the cop said, "Hey, you need a license, you could receive a summons," and I was like, "I understand. I'll leave. I'll call the person who gave me a ride, and I'll get out of here." Went over to the next town. It was like literally the next town over, different township. Got stopped by another cop, another police officer, who basically he came out the car. Actually, this wasn't even like he didn't even look like a cop at first. Like it was like one of those undercover cop cars. Just pulled up. I saw the lights flashing, and he was half in uniform. He had his pants on. But with just a t-shirt. I guess he was just getting out from undercover or whatever. Something I don't fucking know. The point is, I recognized him as a cop. He showed me his badge. He was like, "Hey man," he was real cool about the whole thing. He's like, "Hey man, I know you're just out here doing your job and all that, but now I have to do my job. They Someone called and I'm sorry, but I have to ask you to leave." And I understood, and I was like, "Oh, that's sure. That's I completely understand, sir. That's thanks for being so nice. Thanks for being so kind." So he left, and then I had to call my guy. It was time for us to leave anyway. We were out there. We were out there a little bit longer than we were supposed to be. But yeah, makes for a funny story. And again, I don't necessarily mind it. I know. I mean, I'm not as 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 untrustworthy as police these days seem to be. You have to understand that they are there to protect and serve. Just the whole motto. You see a police officer, don't be scared of him. He's there for you. Like if you need something, you run to him. You know what I mean? Like it's there. I remember seeing a poster. It was it was directed towards parents. It's like we we like please stop telling your kids that you'll call the cops on them for misbehaving. We want them to run to us when there's trouble. And that makes sense. I would if some shit was going down and there's a cop right down the street, I'm running to the cop. Then again, there's also, given where I'm from, there's also that instinctive wariness around the police officers. But then, I have to shake that off because he's a police officer. He's there to do his job is to protect me if I'm out on the street and some shit's going down. And these two police officers are just doing their job. They're doing their job to protect and serve the people, or at least make the people feel protected. But yeah, basically what this boils down to was this job sucked. I quit. I'm gonna job hunt now. I'd rather be working retail or literally anything else other than what I was doing. I was cool with everybody at the office. It's just the job was stupid. What we did was stupid. What they're doing right now is stupid. It's yeah. What they're doing right now. They're probably out on the way onto the field doing this stupid fucking job. So that's pretty much it. So from what I said in the intro, if you're young, if you're my age, I'm 22 years old, but if you're my age and you need a job and you get a call from some marketing firm, just turn it down. You do not want to do door-to-door sales. You don't want to do any kind of sales, really. I mean, telemarketing might be easier. At least you're just sitting down, calling people. But don't do door-to-door. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a door-to-door sales type of job, and you're not going to know until you go through the hiring process, you fill out the paperwork, and then you get hired. And then they slap a pitch on your lap. Much like this one. Hear that? That's paper. I'm looking at the pitch right now. I would recite the pitch, but that could potentially give away who I was working for. Alright, I guess maybe I'll give a sample of it. So, knock, knock, knock. Hi, how are you? My name's DF, and I'm out here with insert company name here. Show you my badge. Yeah, I'm out here with insert company name here in regards to the electricity for the neighborhood or the community. I've been speaking with a lot of your neighbors today. I actually just finished speaking to Jake next door. That part's extra. It's like I've been speaking to a lot of your neighbors. My job is to make sure that your rate is protected with your utility and to see if you qualify for clean energy and possibly a lower rate. Now, you might have already done this before, but it just takes 2 seconds. I just need you to go ahead and grab any copy of your electric bill and just let me know what it says right here in the supply section, and I'll wait right here. Now, of course, it'd be a little bit faster, a little bit more higher energy than that, but I'm basically just I'm just telling you what I would be saying right now. Then, of course, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to show you my bill. I don't handle the bill." These are things I would have to overturn to get the bill anyway. Once I have the bill, now here's something else that got shady. The other thing that they emphasized on was to get the customer talking. Basically, to get them talking, to get their mind off of what I'm doing here, so that when I go through the order form, they'll like me, they'll trust me. It was some sick form of manipulation. I kind of like how they did it, but still we're not. I don't want to say we weren't scamming these people. They know what we made sure they knew what they're getting into, but still, that's pretty fucked up. So like, I have the bill. Say I ask you how long you lived there. You tell me how long. I say, oh wow, okay, so that's pretty long. I assume you like it here then. And you say, yeah, maybe not. Like, cool. I mean, it's a lot quieter than where I'm from, so this is real nice. But yeah, so is your bill always like this? And you say yes, no, whatever. Well, that's because of this reason. It'd be the main 2 reasons were that your rates were out of date or they fluctuated. But yeah, the rates were out of date, fluctuated. Now, on paper, it seems like, okay, well, maybe only certain people have their rates fluctuated. No, everybody's rates are fluctuating, or they're out of date, quote unquote, out of date. So anybody is qualified to receive clean energy and possibly a lower rate. So to be clear, nothing with your basically, the only thing that would have changed on your bill would be your supplier. That's basically what the next line is. Then go into that. Then I ask you for your phone number. Put it on the work order form, get your information off your bill, sign you up, make a phone call, sign you up, explain to you what the form is, yada yada yada, 50 cents a day advantage fee, make a phone call. Then you have to answer the phone because they're going to call you. I'd have to leave your property, get a confirmation number at the end, and end the call. And that would have been $45 for me, assuming you stayed on the phone long enough. But yeah. I'll say it again. You get any phone calls from a marketing firm, about 8 times out of 10 it's going to be for door-to-door stuff. You don't want to do that. Unless you have a knack for sales, unless for some reason you really want to be a door-to-door salesman and you see the opportunity via being a door-to-door salesman and you get promoted to being a manager and all that stuff, then hey, go for it. But if you're just some youngin' like me who just needed a job, and these marketing firms are kind of like, they're like vultures. They're looking to scoop up any youngster who doesn't really know that much better to put them to work out in the field with commission pay. Then I'd say just watch out for it. Just don't get fooled. Turn it down. This is a 40-minute fucking video. Yeah, this is basically a podcast. I might do more of these. This was supposed to be just a simple DF Rants video, but it ended up getting a lot longer. I don't think this will get any views. Maybe not. Maybe it will. I don't know. Who knows? I'm gonna post it to Facebook anyway, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. Yeah. Job sucked, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have to put a really long Overwatch clip, or I'm gonna have to attach a really long Overwatch clip to this audio. But yeah, if you sat through the whole thing, then hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really, I mean, you don't really have to fucking listen. I mean, you don't really have to fucking watch. You can literally just plug it in, put it in your phone, have your phone sit there, and then just do whatever it is you're doing. This was basically a podcast without it actually being a podcast. I don't have a podcast. A podcast would be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do it more often. Maybe have some guests on. But yeah, till next time, this is it for now. See ya. Also, in case you were wondering why I even tried to stick with it in the first place, the biggest reason was because the money was promising, and quite frankly, I wasn't making shit at the last job I was working at, my local mall. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry this video was so damn long. If you sat through the whole thing, then thanks a lot. But yeah, till next time, this is it for now. See ya.